Good morning and welcome to BIFA Link TV, your daily dose of industry information. Today I'm joined by Robert Windsor. Robert is BIFA's Member Policy and Compliance Director, and he's here today to talk about a couple of road freight matters which are impacting our industry. Robert, over to you.
Yes, thank you very much, Natalie. There's two issues we want to raise with members. The first is international and relates to movements to and from Europe.
Sure.
And the second is a particularly unusual type of crime which has been brought to our attention by trading standards. Let's deal very quickly with the international, the European. Many people are aware, obviously, that we've left the European Union, and this has had an impact on a variety of aspects of our work, not least customs controls and matters like that. Europe, the members of the European Union are part of what's called Schengen, and that is the area of Europe that allows the free movement of people. If you are not in Schengen, you have no right for free movement. And the European Union is introducing something called EES. It's the entry-exit system. It got delayed last year again, should have come in this year, but they've delayed it because of the Olympics. And we are being advised this will now become into force, in effect, in October. This is basically where people are going to have to pre-register passport details, fingerprints, and your facial recognition from your passport. Now, this means two things, in effect. One, that you'll need a digital passport to make all of this work. Mm-hmm. The second is that it will have an impact, obviously, on our members, and I think these are going to be twofold, particularly in the initial stages, because most of the main ferry ports handle both people and cargo.
Yes.
And our concern is obviously that if people have not done what they should have done and there's a build-up of traffic, it's going to affect traffic flows.
Sure.
The second, and this is a very tricky one, and we've started to see some enforcement in Holland in particular, a little bit in France. It's what we call the 90, 180 days rule. In effect, if you go to Europe, you're allowed to go in a 180-day period for 90 days. If you want to do more than that, you need a visa. This is a particular problem for HGV drivers and people who don't go to, shall we say, work in an office or a warehouse or something like that,
Sure.
because in effect they're mobile workers. So the European Union hasn't actually found an answer to this problem. And of course, this system will mean that they will be logging you in and out, so they'll be able to tell if you've exceeded the 90 days and 180 days. And that we do fear is going to have an impact. How big or how small, we don't know yet, but it's something I think members who are doing international road freight should be aware of. The second issue is actually something related, and it's an unusual one, to domestic crime relative to trucks and road freight. I mean, we're all aware of the problem of theft from lorries.
Sure.
But where we are coming up with something, and this has come from local trading standards, and I've had two reports, one from Staffordshire and one from Cheshire. And they wanted to contact BIFA members, because what has happened is that the BIFA member has sold a trailer. It's past its useful date, it's old, and it can't be economically viably repaired. So it's been sold at auction. It's been, how should we say, debadged, so all the logos and things from the members are off. But trailers have a registration number, and these were left on. And what came up in both cases is that the trailers were actually sold for scrap, but then used for another purpose. And what people are doing, because of the cost of disposing of rubbish, people have been loading these trailers up with rubbish, most of it highly compliant with any regulations. It's the sort of stuff you can't take to a proper tip,
Right.
and then just dumping it. This causes a problem because the police obviously take action and they follow it through. And so basically the urge to the members is quite simple. If you are selling your trailers, be very aware that they only go to a legitimate auction, and that if you are going to want them scrapped, you are going to have to make sure that they are actually scrapped. And also to keep a record of the trailers, and in particular where they went to sale and who paid for them and how it was paid. And that will give you the audit trail that you can easily tell the police so that they know it's not your trailer.
Thank you very much, Robert. Both very important matters for our members to be aware of. So in terms of some further reading, can they read this month's BIFA link to find out more information?
Yes, there is information in July BIFA link on the EES. The other matter needs a little bit more thought. And obviously you can go on the Europa website, which is the EU website, for quite a lot of technical information about the EU entry-exit system.
Sure. Thank you very much, Robert.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. That's all for today's episode of BIFA Link TV, your daily dose of industry information.